Hi, Michael Home again, video 3. Um, this particular video is kind of based around a poem called The Jigsaw. Some videos might have more than one poem in them, but not yet. So I have this idea of, that we make this, we make like a mental model of the world, a social model, how everything fits together, how we fit in ourselves, etc. And the my jigsaw, if you will, after the problems I had with the software house and the mental health psychosis, my jigsaw, so to speak, was somewhat broken up, and it needed rebuilding. Now, I think after psychosis, you can either rebuild your figurative jigsaw or not. Sadly, some people get involved in drugs, alcohol, addictions of whatever. But as I said in one of the previous videos, you can recover from from these situations. Now, interestingly, in this poem, the Jigsaw, I talk about third person references because originally I was diagnosed as schizophrenic. Some psychiatrists will make a diagnosis as schizophrenic based on one criteria alone, and that is the presence of third person references. So what that means is, like literary third person, like you are referred to as he or she, and and what is actually said is always derogatory. So when I was at work in this software house, I was hearing things like, he's ruined his career, he's a yes man, he's this, he's that, and I thought at the time that people were actually saying these things to me because it sounds perfectly like the person who you think is saying them. It's spot on. So I was hearing these third person references, and I'd had, you might say I'd had an identity crisis. I didn't know who I was anymore, so I needed to rebuild this jigsaw. I'm gonna just read the poem now. I think I've given it enough introduction, so here goes. The Jigsaw. Never made remarks etched below actual memories remind me of when life seems stagnant, painfully lonely. Voices are my only explanation now. He's a bizarre combination, seemed real within silence. My needle jumped and scratched that confused spiral of mine. I prayed the record would end. People seemed to see through the clarity of my identity crisis and aimed to force odd pieces into my jigsaw. I pretended not to hear the voices. He's a yes man. He's ruined his career. Not fit for work. I delivered an enveloped no. Mental illness suits asylum, uncaring bastards suit educating. I'd never reference directly in third person. Do we all receive such addresses? My jigsaw was becoming a mismanaged montage. I needed a patient, caring nurse. I thought I heard Dad's wife with her back to me talk about the open fire without calling me. Loosely, I connected a decade-old event. What do you mean, Dad? He's a rogue and a vagabond. Et tu, Brute? I denied. But who was he? You repeated he's a rogue and a vagabond. I knew I'd not always been good, and my heart sank, just like when I asked if Mum could come back. Then I was silent. My jigsaw is built with some holes. They're apparent in situations it took forever. It's a shield. We're all more or less broken projects. So, yeah, there was a mention of I felt my dad said he's a rogue and a vagabond, and it was the only voice I ever challenged because I said, what did you just say? And he seemed to repeat it. And for several years after that, every now and again, I'd, I'd ask my dad, did you call me a rogue and a vagabond? And he was just utterly incredulous that I would ask him such a question. Um, so, till next time, um, I think that poem can be taken in a broader way. It doesn't have to be anything to do with voices. This idea of this model we have in our minds of society and how we navigate situations, etc. We all have one, I think, and for all of us, there's missing pieces in that jigsaw. That's part of life's task, to do as best we can to build that jigsaw. Okay, thank you.